Are you
I'm
ready?
ready.
You ready? You ready, Narya? Because we're starting. Ready or not, here we come. Rise up, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Here's where we talk about responsibility, integrity, service, and empathy in action, where we learn about what's going on in the world and the difference that I can make, and that you can make, that we can make together or not together, wherever you are. Okay, we got half of the studio here. We got Narya Gorder, National Program Coordinator, Ricky DeSena, our UN liaison.
So,
We got a cool show for you. We got some interesting topics and discussion. Oh, what was that, Ricky?
no, I was just saying hello in Polish. Cheshire.
Chechen?
Cheshire.
Chechen. Hey, and I'm sure we'll explain at some point why Ricky is speaking Polish. We'll get to that. So let's get into it. We got first an article or a discussion from Ricky about the importance of business, is it? And kind of working together with the UN. Mm-hmm. We'll go with that.
Okay. Thank you, Mohan. So, yeah, my article, a discussion for today, or topic of discussion for today is basically the relationship between business and the SDGs and why it's important. So basically, I've been doing some research into what steps we need to take, as society, to get on the fast track into achieving the SDGs. And something I came across was actually this article that shared that actually we need, although we antagonize businesses, especially corporations, a lot, we actually need these businesses to be on our side and achieving these SDGs to be able to actually fulfill the goals that we set out for ourselves. And so the question became, what? Well, first of all, businesses, as much as we like to believe that it's like one entity, and that one entity can kind of decide for itself if it wants to be ethical or unethical. But at the end of the day, these businesses are also, their main goal is to turn a profit. So what I found was that actually you can be a business and have a business that's focused on profit and still benefit a lot uh, through the SDGs, and having a core of like the mission of your business being centered down around either one or multiple of the SDGs. So actually, what one thing that I found interesting was I was going through this SDG compass guide that the United Nations provided, and it basically goes through like everything related to the relationship between businesses and SDGs. And one of the points that was made was that the benefits of businesses having this relationship with the UN and the SDGs is that it actually pointed out that businesses can't succeed in societies that fail. So what it's saying is like, if there's no society, no functioning society, then how are businesses going to make money? So that's like, for me, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's like a basic incentive for businesses to actually promote and be centered around the SDGs. So yeah, now I just want to turn it over to you guys and kind of find out what you guys think about the relationship between businesses and SDGs, but also what can we do to kind of promote that and not antagonize businesses, but actually like involve them in the kind of work that we're doing.
Hey, this is I think, an age-old conversation, and I think we tend to kind of divide this world into capitalists and more socialists. But I think of it a little differently. I know, Naria, you brought this up maybe if it was not last week, maybe the week before. That what are dollars? You know, what is money? Money is votes. So it's like wherever you put your money, you're voting for more of that thing, whether it's a business or a nonprofit or whatever. So we tend to point to, oh, it's the businessmen that are the problem. They're so selfish and greedy. Oh, it's the nonprofits who are ineffective and chasing after wild dreams. Well, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me, the citizen, who's voting for all of those things to continue. You know, so I think it doesn't really matter so much about how, as long as it brings out the best in people. And that's why I do believe that inspiration and modeling just good citizen behavior is just needs to be modeled at every level, at the top of corporations and in the bottom of the the blue collar working workers. But it's like not even social class, or it's like we should measure ourselves, like Dr. King said, by the content of our character. And if there are these real world problems, and there are, like, climate change and mega complex situations, then we just need to be as scientific and objective as possible and to put our dollars there. But that takes time. It takes doing your due diligence and doing your research and fully understanding the complexity of the issue. And whose fault is that? It's me. It's me, the citizen, who is, continuing the status quo by not going above my own understanding. So that's I got to start with that before but yes, at the same time, I think we do have these existing groups of people who are more competitive in the markets and capitalism. And you have the more, the non-competitive types who just want to, create and to express artistically, or, work in the humanitarian world where there's a lot of people who just need support and help. So I think we can work together, complementary, for these mega issues. But I think it takes some young minds to kind of bridge the different worlds, to think with a new perspective and introduce a new energy, and less of a tired energy, but more of a new kind of perspective. So I think that can help be a bridge. And that's why I appreciate the UN. They're always trying to reach the youth, and they have a whole framework on how to make sure that we're continuing to listen to that voice and to empower them, which is also what we do with YSP. So I think we're helping there. But yeah, Naria, what do you think? This is an interesting subject.
I think, definitely it's not like black and white about like who's like ultimately responsible for something, or if it's just like one group. It's really like everyone from every part of society needs to be aware of the sustainable development goals, and also just like how they can contribute and make a change. But yeah, everyone has their own responsibility. And even with businesses, they play a major role in how society operates and the economy and everything. So if businesses start to show a certain like example or model that's really beneficial for the planet, then that business will probably be like the leading businesses for a country. At least that's my personal opinion. If a business thinks more than just about I guess profit, and more about like the whole and like how to better society, they tend to do better, in my opinion. And also people admire that, so then they want to support them and get their product, work with the business or buy their products.
It really is
Max
true.
hearing me.
I know even within the world of business ethics, you know, benefiting society is profitable. Assuming that your society wants to benefit society, you know, or assuming that your customers want to support the benefit of society. So, right. Although that doesn't always play out exactly the way the theory goes, but again, it comes back to the people. I think that's why I think fundamentally, and as part of our mission, is to raise up citizens, model citizens, because they're the ones who are going to create amazing businesses, amazing nonprofits that will, and even stuff in between. I was talking to Iris this week, and she mentioned like there's a new kind of class of where there's you can actually get like partially tax deductible if you kind of sometimes something in between, like a corporation and a nonprofit. So again, like these are new ideas because our world is changing. I think our world is like, especially this new generation wants to see more change in terms of like, we're not in an industrial society. We are the technology has gotten better. Our communications has gotten better. The job market is changing rapidly. So we need to adapt, and we need to see that the adaptation in our workings with business and nonprofits. So this is great. I'm glad the UN's on, working on this.
And if I could share just one more thing, I think at the core of it, if we're talking about the relationship between like businesses and SDGs, is our business is gonna be like short term and look at profits now, or business is gonna look long term and see what they can build or create in terms of like a business model.
Right. It's such an interesting point because there is this, I don't know if it's maybe by association, you see a little bit of an older generation where they wouldn't say it's short term, but they just can't quite understand the long-term ramifications, or they don't believe it. Or meanwhile, the young generation has a tendency to like, well,
yeah, it's gonna affect us, not you guys.
Right. And it's like I just don't want it to get divisive. I don't want it to get like it's young people's rights that are being, you know what I mean? Like make it against like young people versus older people because, oh, you don't understand. And so we need to, if you don't suppress my voice, because it's like, yeah, I just don't want it to be divisive, because I think there's a wisdom from the older generation that we need to inherit before we can really offer solutions. But at the same time, we shouldn't wait. Like I still think we need to voice and do whatever we need to, like whether it's protesting or whatever it is. I think these are all ways to communicate. So it's all good. It's interesting. Okay, well, I think we could continue this maybe another time, but it's interesting. Thank you, Ricky. All right, next we're going to go into our hopeful news given to us today by Naria.
All right, so you'll be hearing me and Max accompanying
no problem.
in the background.
If you can forgive me and my son, then yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those like typical Zoom meetings for businesses, and then there's somebody with a bunch of kids in the background crawling all over them. All right.
It's the new normal.
Yep, the new normal. All right. Let's see if I can. All right. So this article that was shown to me is actually pretty cool, since it is about environment stuff, since we did also just have a synergy event on New Jersey waterways. So this is in Kentucky. And one thing that I want to show that was interesting. So this is about a removal of a dam on the Green River in Kentucky, and I don't really hear often about removal of dams, but basically, five environmental groups got together to remove it because this river apparently has like one of the highest like biodiversity amount of like many different species and animals. Like here we go, right here. So talking about there's like 150 fish species and then more than 70 mussel species and then 30 endemic species that exist nowhere else in the world. So that's something pretty cool to hear about a river in the United States because a lot of times you kind of hear more about that in other parts of the country or other parts of the world, not so much U.S. Um, so they started this in September and they should be finishing up in October sometime. And so there's a lot of positive like hope with like the environment, but also with the economy. I guess initially the dam was built for commercial use with the army, but then it was they no longer needed it, so that's why it was decided to remove the dam. So I'm not sure how often this kind of trend happens where a dam is removed, but yeah, just to hear that it's going to help the environment and the local communities, and just learning about the different animals and the biodiversity that it's going to support and help hopefully flourish and protect is pretty neat.
Yeah, it is really. I thought it was cute how they were celebrating it. That's as if, but I think that celebration is warranted. Because I'm sure it required a lot of collaboration in the different levels of the city or in the state and the people who live around there. And I just love it. It's just looking at a bigger purpose, helping Mother Earth and coming together for that. And like, yeah, I don't know what dam removal, like how common that is, or uh, that's how big of a deal that is, like for the environment necessarily.
Yeah, I've never heard of like a dam removal. Usually it's like they're gonna build a dam and like everyone has to evacuate the city. There's gonna be a new pond or a lake somewhere, but this is different. So it's like, oh, does that mean there's gonna be more land, and then whatever lake might be there is gonna disappear, and then etc.
Yeah,
right. I'm not sure how much more we need to read into it other than like, oh, they removed the dam, great.
yes.
Or you like the movie Frozen too, and like the dam breaks and like the whole city's been flooded or whatever. It's almost like, oh, thank you humankind for removing yourself from Mother Earth, something like.
Yeah.
I think only people who have kids can understand this Frozen 2 reference.
Ricky, you haven't
Hey, I
seen Frozen
understand
2?
it. I watched all the Frozens.
all two of them. Okay.
All two of them.
Well, I guess there's more too. There are some other episodes, other side shows. Anyway.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ricky?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure dams like mess up with the ecosystem in some way. I'm just not sure exactly how. I wish we had like someone on here who could explain it. But yeah, I think like this is essential good news, right? There's been so much like talk recently about we need to do more for the environment, or we're not doing enough. We're nowhere close to reaching our goals. But when you see stuff like this, I'm like, yeah, maybe we're not close, but we're doing something. It's not like we're sitting on our butts. There's still things that are going on. There's still reason to hope, and I think if anything, I take this as kind of like inspiration to actually go and do something myself, or maybe hopefully inspiration for others as well. Because yeah, I do feel like when everything's so negative, it's like, oh, we're not close to our goal, we need to do more, we're not doing enough. I think there's like good intention there, but it's like it can also be kind of overwhelming for someone who's like trying to get involved. So I appreciate this kind of positive news.
Right. It seems like it's such an upward battle, like an uphill battle to see change or see some action taken for Mother Earth.
Yeah.
By any municipality or state. So yeah, it is hopeful. It is actually, yeah. I'm sure like or we could start a whole campaign on invasive dam removal and like, let's remove all the
Remove the dams. Remove Hoover Dam.
it's like I'm sure
That's
they're
a
doing
big
something.
goal.
You can't just stop the water from flowing. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's like wind, wind power. It's like, it's almost a wind dam, right? If you think about it.
Mm.
But does that matter? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Anyway, it's like we lost Naria there. I think we're okay. Maybe
Yeah,
she's
why
listening somehow. Okay.
We're afraid we're gonna lose me, but we lost Narya instead.
Oh no. Do not leave me here by myself, please.
Don't worry, I'm here.
Okay, let's go into a little talk or discussion I want to bring up today. And that is, I might have mentioned this before, but still relevant, still important, is intergenerational cooperation. And I've kind of decided that this is a major theme that I want us to focus on for YSP. It is very much a part of our core value, and it's encapsulated in a word called hyojung. It's like filial heart towards your older generation, but you're not just obediently following all the time, but you're also contributing your skill and expertise to co-create a dream together. And so to kind of honor this important topic, we are hosting with the permanent mission to the UN of the Philippines, this event, which I'm gonna pop up on the screen here. There we go. Share. Right here. It's called the UN Dream, and it's to commemorate the founding of the UN on called UN Day. And it's a collaboration with, like I said, the permanent mission of the Philippines to the United Nations, Women's Federation International, and YSP. And the dialogue is on, like I said, intergenerational cooperation in our journey to peace. And so it's going to be on October 22nd in the morning. And it's going to be a cool discussion featuring leaders from both the younger and older generations to discuss challenges and hopes in realizing the UN's dream for peace. And so, we're going to be promoting this more in the coming weeks. But I just love this topic. I just feel like YSP, we're like uniquely positioned to speak on this topic because all of us here, we love the older generation, and it's so kind of the main theme about this event is there's a fear, there's a concern that I have, and that is we don't progress generation after generation, that we lose kind of the loyalty or the some of the real strengths that the older generation brings. Of course, the experience. I don't know if any of you have read the book Ender's Game. I'll never forget, like, something he said was like, age doesn't really matter. It's all like just experience and knowledge. But like, yes, that there's some truth to that, but there's something about age that you cannot replace. And there's something about not necessarily like the moments in time of these different experiences, but just having a time period to test and try and have patience. Somehow with patience comes so much discipline and not sure if I'm making any sense here, but I guess my concern is that we don't inherit that from one generation to the next. And so I think it's important for us to kind of be clear about, well, what are the strengths that we contribute to a whole? And it's like you have a younger generation who, I mentioned this just today, like new ideas and an energy to try new things. But there needs to be some sort of framework to work in to be constructive and to build together. And I think the older generation helps provide that framing, but it's got to be the right size. Sometimes if it's too small, then we want to just bust out of it or try something new. And if it's too big, then we kind of get disempowered and feel ill-equipped to tackle anything that needs to be addressed. So just curious what your thoughts out there. Put a comment about what you think about what are the strengths between the generations that should be acknowledged. That way we don't miss it and degenerate to your generation to generation. So that's just so definitely, if you're interested in this subject, please attend. I think you're going to learn something. We've got some phenomenal keynote speakers who we will announce, once they're all confirmed. But yeah, Ricky, what do you think?
Yeah, it's super. Well, first of all, the event's super exciting. Definitely going to attend. Is there going to be a Zoom link for the event?
Yes, it's all virtual. It's funny because we're hosting it at the UN, but it's a virtual event. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if the UN were open, we could host it there, but we're doing it online. So yeah, we'll have a link. We'll have a Facebook page. I think you can be able to RSVP there.
Yeah. Besides that, I think intergenerational dialogue is super underrated, especially amongst I don't know, the climate action community, because I think a lot of that is run by youth, and I think we tend to antagonize the older generation. You kind of see them as holding us back. They're the ones that are not letting us or hearing our voices, letting us do what we need to do to actually make the changes we need to make. But I've always thought it differently. Not that the older generation is holding us back, but rather that they're more careful because they've seen things go wrong. They've experienced more, and so what some might interpret as I don't know, holding us back, or interpret as conservative. I interpret it as kind of a warning, right? To actually slow down and actually think about what we're doing. Because I do think, although there's a strength in that being that headstrong young activist where you're not afraid of anything, but there's also a strength in being patient and aware of what the actions you're taking, how are they affecting things long term or even short term.
Right. It's there's a tendency to be overly optimistic or overly pessimistic when you're younger.
Yeah.
It's hard to think in terms of gray and different shades, but you need that sometimes. Actually, sometimes it's important to have that extreme optimism, and then you have the older, a more experienced, seasoned person saying, "Let's zoom out a little bit," and you can start to see this ups and downs here. So. If you project that it's going to just shoot up to the moon, then you might be disappointed, and we don't want you to collapse along the way. If there's that trust, though, if there's a trust that we're not trying to hamper what you're doing, it's just we've seen people crash in it, and it's many. I mean, I'm sure people can survive those crashes too. And sometimes that's the only way you really learn in life is just you shoot up and you crash, but don't say we didn't warn you. Kind of So it's a certain skill and level of trust you need to build to kind of optimize that potential.
Yeah, and I agree, and I've seen it in person too, this kind of conversation where an older generation being hey, be careful because this or this or this or this or this could happen, and then things could go so wrong, and then the young person is no, we can do it, Yes, let's do it. uh, it's like it's interesting because I was actually like seeing that kind of interaction. But I agree, like trust is a big part of it. Like you need to have that communication between like your older figures who have experienced more. Then the elder figures also need to trust that the young people, have like this vision and that they can do it. Otherwise, you're just gonna always keep doubting them as well.
Right. It's like the older generation needs to allow mistakes to happen
Yeah,
sometimes because they've certainly made mistakes too. And then, and not to overly be concerned. It's like sometimes the concerns are so overwhelming that it just smothers any kind of interest or passion in that subject.
or creativity.
So that's a lesson or tip for the older generation perhaps, and then for the young generation, it's like patience is wow. If you have patience, then that your maturity level is up there. And if you're ready to just hold on a little bit, you might realize, you know what? Yeah, maybe work a little smarter um, would save everyone from some headaches, possibly. Yeah.
Mm.
Welcome back, Noria. We missed you.
Sorry, what I miss? My computer
Oh,
decided to die on me, and yeah, it kind of went very much faster than I had expected it would die.
basically all the secrets of life were revealed. So yeah, sorry.
Darn.
Yeah.
I'll watch the recording.
Better luck next life, I guess. So we've got we want to share with you what happened this Saturday. We had our Synergy in New Jersey. Yeah, it was awesome. We had 3 of our young presenters and our amazing judges. So if now you want to just kind of walk us through what happened, and I don't know if you have photos, but yeah, we had some.
Well,
Just
I
tell us
know
real
Ricky
quick.
took a group photo, so if you want, while I'm sharing about it, he can maybe look for it and pull it up. But yeah, it was held 6 p.m. Eastern, and we had the 3 guest judges from the New Jersey DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, represented from the Hackensack River Keeper and the Passaic Coalition, and they really enjoyed hearing these young people presenting these ideas and getting involved in the concerns of the with the rivers. So yeah, 3 presentations. So one was the first place was taken by an 18-year-old young woman named Jungjin Ju. She's currently a intern at a boat manufacturing facility in Paraguay. So she's actually from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and so she proposed an idea of how to clean the rivers and basically collect microplastic using something called ferrofluid, which I had never heard of before. And apparently it's kind of like a magnet where like it collects and attracts the microplastics, and then you can collect the ferrofluid out of the water using magnets, basically. So she made that proposal of like kind of an idea of how to get the plastics out, but then also using the plastics for turning them into recycled materials of either benches or just things in the parks and around the communities. Then second place went to a group of young girls. I think only two representatives presented. It was Asami Maruyama and Hana Tripathi, and they presented the idea of how to change the trend of dumping trash into the rivers through using social media to promote like ways to clean or to stop throwing away trash just on the curb and into the rivers, and also the suggestion of a before and after like kind of post on social media. Like I know that that's been a trending thing, so they want to make this go viral and get people inspired and want to be part of this new trend. And then third place went to a team. It was, I think, it was a youth group in New Jersey, and it was presented by Kai Schnetzer. And his proposal was to address the invasive species in our waterways in New Jersey, so specifically in the Delaware River. And they've specifically talked about the snakehead fish. So it's apparently from Russia, China, and they were dumped into the rivers at some point or escaped from like fish farms or something, and basically they are taking over the rivers. They are like a dominant predator, and they grow really big really fast. And so he proposed a fishing tournament to catch these fish, and they're also apparently very tasty, almost equal to cod, is like fish with fish and chips. So they want to incorporate fish, the fishing tournament, and also cooking the fish afterwards. So to show people that you can eat these, but also so that the fish doesn't just go to waste. Because usually, when you want to get rid of invasive species, you're supposed to kill them, eliminate them. You're not supposed to throw them back. So it'd be such a waste to capture all these fish, but then just kill them and then toss them somewhere. So they want to also be able to eat them. So to respect the fish. And yeah, it was really enjoyable to watch. It was emceed by our local New Jersey YSB coordinator, Alyssa McMahon. And we had an awesome tech team who helped out in the background along with Ricky and our national staff.
Yeah, thanks for the summary. You know, it was such a beautiful display of intergenerational cooperation. It was, you know, a lot of these ideas were, you know, developed, you know, with a relatively short amount of time, and so, you know, I really appreciate the presenters, but I just love the response from the judges too, because they have such a wealth of knowledge on the subject where they couldn't help but ask kind of some real, you know, realistic questions like, so how does that work exactly, and the budget, and how would you, you know, attract attention. And I loved it. I think it was such a learning experience for everyone, and you know, it made me want to collaborate more and to you know, this bring more awareness to our young people. And like, you guys are addressing these issues. It's like, it really starts with just knowing the problem, and then doing anything can really help. If it even just raising awareness or putting you're investing into the solution in some way. I promise you something will happen. But yeah, congrats to Jung Hae and all the other presenters. This was a great event. I'm looking forward to just a couple of weeks from now, or not even, for our Synergy USA. So we got a few people working on the presentations now, and so it's going to be great. Can't wait to see. All right.
Oh, I forgot to mention that the prize grants for this past Synergy was provided by our co-sponsor, Ocean Tribe New Jersey. So they were the ones who wanted to organize this specifically on the topic of New Jersey waterways, and also sponsored the prize grants for all these young people.
Yes, huge thank you to Ocean Tribe, and we should bring Branch back on here sometime, and you know, talk to us more about the waterways and the ocean, and how can we empower you more young people. Okay, I think we've gone over time today, but it's good. It's all good. Thank you for joining. See you next time. Peace.